Hi, and welcome to my speed build. Today I'm building in the Moonwood Mill world in the new Moon Shack lot. And I'm building an abandoned home today. And this has one bathroom and two bedrooms and a little wraparound porch. And the style of the home is kind of farmhouse style, and it is meant to be an older home. And right now I'm working on the wraparound roof, having a little bit of trouble here remembering how to do that. And it's still actually not right because in that right corner against the house, that should go straight through. If you want to be realistic, because you should always imagine the rain coming off of the roof and where would it make a puddle. And then if you can sort of see how it would make a puddle, you kind of want to fix that. And now I'm adding some wallpaper, this aged wood, which is from the Island Living Pack, to help give this little farmhouse more of a rustic vibe. This is meant to be an old-fashioned farmhouse, definitely something that's older, and it's meant to fit in with the grungy vibes of Moonwood Mill. And so, because this is meant to be an older home, I'm trying to choose things that are wooden, simplistic, maybe have a little grunge on them, some age to them, just to help make this little farmhouse seem realistic, that it was something that was built maybe 50 or 60 years ago. And so this is where the little bathroom is going to be, right next to the kitchen. And as with most houses, if you want it to be realistic, then keep the plumbing together, or at least close by. So that's typically how that is done in homes to keep it realistic. Just a tip there. So those two are next to each other. And then, this is a modest home, so it's the same flooring throughout, the same tiles. That also keeps things affordable as well, because this is, meant to be a modest aging farmhouse. And actually here in the roof, I'm trying to find the aged roof tiles as well. And then the Life and Death pack also has some really good stair railings that have some age to them as well. And this is where we're going to have two bedrooms, and then that little nook will be the little home office area. And there's, I think, like I said, in the City Living pack has some really good aged wallpapers in there for this build. And then right now I'm just sort of trying out all the different vintagey wallpapers, trying to figure out what vibe I'm going for in this house. And now in here is like a little back porch area or a back door that I wanted just to kind of give it another little bump out. It's always adds interest to a build if you can have a bump out. But then ultimately, I actually do delete this because the kitchen wasn't big enough with the door there. I didn't have enough room for for enough counters and the appliances. So I actually ended up getting rid of that, but I did think it made the back a little bit more interesting. Here I'm working on the roof. I'm trying to fix what I had done earlier because I hadn't used the right front piece on the roof, so I was just adjusting that. And now I'm moving on into the interior, where I'm trying to show that this is lost in time. Like this house was abandoned 50 or 60 years ago. So it's meant to show that age. So I'm just going through and picking all the tattered things. I think having a chair covered in a blanket always looks kind of aged to me. And then choosing, the old wood stove, the old TV, just trying to make this sort of frozen in time and kind of add to the creepiness that I'm trying to to develop in here. And a lot of this came actually from like the Halloween pack. So the little table and eventually the curtains that I add are all from there. And then the City Living kitchen has some really good wear and tear on it, so I chose that for in here. And then also the appliances from City Living, there's some grungy ones as well that also add to the vibe. And now I'm just adding cabinets and trying to make them fit without overpowering the kitchen, because it's just such a tiny space. And then the bathroom in here, realizing that I don't think it would be functional, so I had to flip it, the sink and the toilet, to make it be functional. And then these are the lights that I choose for older builds because they're just not, they just look really outdated to me. Also, the horse ranch pack has a lot of great weathered items, so that's where I got the desk and the chair. And this is where you start to see the first bits of the story. And so there's some marks on the walls, there's some papers scattered everywhere, and that's just the beginning of what's going on here. Because I think, the grunge is expected and the tattered curtains and carpet, but then I start to add objects that lean into the story of what possibly happened in here. And so now I'm doing a little pink room, a little floral room. It's meant to look old-fashioned, meant to look a little bit dated. And yeah, like I said, lost in time. And so working on the lighting, trying to pick lighting that an old farmhouse would naturally have. And now I'm starting to add boxes and packing things. And in my mind, where I was going with this was that the family who lived here, so there's 2 parents and 2 kids that lived here, were dealing with something that they didn't want to deal with anymore. And so they started packing up all their things. But their stuff is still here. So everything's like half packed, and there's things all over the floor from when they were scrambling to get things together and make a run for it. But their stuff's all here. So where are they, and where did they go, and why is their car rotting out front, which is what you'll see towards the end, or you might have seen in the thumbnail of the video. And so this is just continuing to really go heavy on the grunge, really make this look like it is just deteriorating and falling apart. And they just ran and left it as is, or at least tried to run, because if you download this build, you'll find something in the backyard. And so, yeah, just trying to add some stuff, and like that creepy frame that came from the basement kit, and then that creepy drawing that is from, I don't know, it's from some pack. It's like maybe Parenthood. It's like something that your sim can make. I don't know. So now I'm adding more art, trying to pick some of the creepier art, some of the older art. And then also there's like coffee mugs left on the table with spills, with drips on them. So it's almost like people were drinking coffee and then, decided to make a run for it. And then the old phone with the old notepad next to the chair. That's definitely how it used to be when we had landlines. To take your messages down. And now you can see here's all the moving boxes and the little cart thing. I forget what that's called. So more of their things. So they were like packing everything up, and there's boxes everywhere. And it's like, why did they do that? I don't know. I think in my mind, I was imagining possibly the house was haunted. And maybe they couldn't take it anymore, or maybe somebody was after them. Maybe a werewolf was after them. Maybe they were not werewolves. Maybe they were something else. Because there is a vampire picture in the parents' bedroom, and there's werewolf scratches all over the house. So maybe a werewolf chased them out. But in any case, this is them packing up all their things and trying to leave from whatever was chasing them. And they just some things they just either they didn't get to, or they left behind. But they were definitely in mid-pack when they disappeared. And I guess in my head, I haven't decided, like, did they disappear here, or like at the house, or did they get away? And I think that's something that you could decide if you wanted to download this house. But I think in my mind, maybe they didn't make it. So But what I really knew is that like I wanted this to be an abandoned house with the creepiness of like somebody was trying to get out and a family was packing up their things. And then, you can decide what happened. Did they get out or did they not? Was it a werewolf? Was it not? And so now I'm just adding stuff to the porch to make it look overgrown, choosing a lot of rustic plants, the tire plant and there's like half of a barrel kind of a plant, more boxes, and now like getting into the landscaping, which probably the vast majority of this is what do you call it, debug. So all of these tall brown grasses and most of everything at this point to do the outside was from the debug menu. And so I'm just trying to find like the weird creepy half dead trees. We have some weird werewolf signage. I found a little tire to put under their car, and just adding objects, adding trash that maybe has collected over the years, the mail in front of the door that they just stopped, maybe it was delivered for a little while before it finally spaced out, and stopped coming. And I'm trying to remember all the packs that I used for debug in case you want to use any of this stuff, but I do think the majority of it came from the horse ranch pack, the vampire pack, and the werewolf pack is probably what the majority of this is. Maybe a little bit of life and death as well, but like and those fences might be country or cottage living for the fences. Those are all debug. Basically everything that you see in the yard is debug. There's like the little well, which I always feel like wells are creepy. Like, sorry, I just think they are. And now I'm just trying to really make everything look dry and dead, and like it hasn't really been it's abandoned, and so it should, no one's taking care of it. So I wanted it to be like really overgrown, and maybe there was like hints of where a garden used to be, like there's some rose bushes. And then the trees that I'm putting down right now are from the Life and Death pack, and I love this set of 3. They're so creepy, so I had to put those around the little well. And yeah, so this is just the finishing touches, adding a few more bushes, trying to show that like there was sort of like a little bit of a garden thing going on. And that is pretty much the build. This is everything here, just a short little one. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and it is available on the gallery. And I will see you in the next one.